clicking on this video, and I'm so glad you did. Obviously, if you clicked on this video, it's because you're interested in the topic. So, today what we'll be covering, need to know, everything you need to know about phantom pregnancy, also known as pseudocyesis or false pregnancy. So let's jump right in, because honestly, who has time to watch a video for longer than 10 minutes? So let's go. This condition is both psychological as well as physical, because the phantom pregnancy can begin in a climate of apprehension and then develops when sensory perception to physical symptoms are interpreted as signifying pregnancy, despite evidence to the contrary. This condition is non-discriminatory and can happen to absolutely anyone, regardless of the person's social status, education level, experience, history, diet, upbringing, occupation, lifestyle, beliefs, values, and morals. Pseudocyesis is not rare. Although they would like you to believe it is, pseudocyesis is not rare. This condition is underreported and underdiagnosed. This is why the statistics for it are so low, because women are ashamed to admit to their healthcare professionals that they experienced something like this. They don't want the stigma of mental health issues or mental health unwell or she's crazy. They don't want that stigma attached to them, so they don't report it to their doctors. So again, let me tell you, pseudocyesis or phantom pregnancy is not as rare as they would like you to believe, because it is underreported and underdiagnosed. This condition may develop out of desire to be pregnant, out of the desire to have a baby, and out of the desire to be a mother. Or this condition can develop out of fear of pregnancy, out of fear of being pregnant, or out of fear of being a mother. Some medications, herbs, supplements, such as opiates, estrogens, antipsychotics, antidepressants, benzos, antihypersensitives, dopamine blockers, all of these things may trigger physical symptoms first, and then possibly reinforce a false conviction of pregnancy. Or, because majority of the time a phantom pregnancy is developed because the person feels physical symptoms first. And these medications can trigger these physical symptoms to start to develop, which may reinforce a false conviction of pregnancy. A phantom pregnancy can and may develop even when there has been no prior sexual activity. So the person does not have to be sexually active in order to develop a phantom pregnancy. Pseudocyesis and delusion of pregnancy is conceptualized as occurring on a continuum, sometimes in women with no prior or subsequent psychiatric history. And this is important to note, that this condition can develop in women who have had absolutely no prior history, no prior psychiatric history. Sometimes this condition develops in women in the midst of depressive or related illness, or sometimes this condition develops in women suffering from ongoing psychotic illness. So it's a continuum. There is no specific characteristics or personality traits or anything that make you more susceptible or more likely to experience a phantom pregnancy. Sorry, I'm pushing my words together. Like I said prior, developing a phantom pregnancy is non-discriminatory. There's no like, oh, she's likely to experience one because of this, this, and this. No. So, majority of cases of pseudocyesis are described in the reproductive age. They're usually women, although some men do develop this condition, and 80% of the affected women are said to be married. So that's kind of interesting to think about, that pretty much 80% of women who've reported to have experienced a phantom pregnancy, 80% of them are married, which is wow. sorry, phantom pregnancy can be temporary. It can be temporary. It can last a few months, 6 months, 9 months, which is the normal length of a pregnancy. Or it can be long lasting. It can be it may be corrected or not by demonstrated evidence, education, cognitive behavioral therapy, and or psychotic pharmaceutical agents, or a combination of all of these, in order to help the woman accept that her uterus is in fact empty. So here we are. Okay. So it can be primary. It can be the only thing that's happening in the woman's life, or appear in the context of other medical conditions that cause abdominal distension or other pregnancy-related symptoms. For example, just to name a few: fibroids, urinary retention, metabolic syndrome, tubal cyst, or any kind of abdominal pain. So the woman can think that she is having, or that she's with, falsely believe that she's with child all by itself, or it can appear in the context of, she was diagnosed with fibroids, so we know she has fibroids, but she's also experiencing all these symptoms of pregnancy. So it's, it can, these other conditions such as fibroids, urinary retention, tubal cysts, these things can contribute and actually enforce the false belief of pregnancy. So hypothyroidism can present as pseudocyesis. This is very, very important information. If you have hypothyroidism, you can most definitely develop a phantom pregnancy just because of the symptoms that are going to develop as a result of your hypothyroidism. So pseudocyesis has been associated with the postpartum state. It's been associated with premature menopause. It's been associated with high progesterone levels. In other words, just to make this a little bit more simple, phantom pregnancy has been associated with hormone imbalance. And the reason why this is so important is because in the cryptic pregnancy community, many of the women explain that the reason why they are experiencing this type of pregnancy and the reason why their baby is growing so slowly is because they have a hormone imbalance. This information, it's medically documented that phantom pregnancy has been associated with hormone imbalance. The development of a phantom pregnancy has been associated with hormone imbalance. So most especially, pseudocyesis has been tied to hyperprolactinemia because elevated levels of prolactin lead to many symptoms of pregnancy. And this is very, very, very important. It is important to note that high prolactin levels do not necessarily mean you are pregnant. High prolactin levels can be caused by stress, nipple stimulation, as well as the drugs that I mentioned earlier in this video. This means that women taking these agents or these prescription drugs may often perceive body changes that they may associate with pregnancy. It should be noted that anticipation and fear will substantially raise prolactin levels in many women. And the reason why I note this is because in the cryptic pregnancy community, a lot of the fear-inducing statements, fear-inducing questions, you should not go to your doctor, nobody's going to believe you, all of these things create anticipation, it creates fear. And so it's very important to note that women who are experiencing high levels of anticipation or high levels of fear, such as the women in the cryptic pregnancy community, because they've expressed this to me, and I, being one of them at one point in time, I was a part of the cryptic pregnancy community, and I can most definitely verify that I was very, very stressed out. My anticipation and fear was at the highest levels it has ever been when I was involved in the cryptic pregnancy community. And so if you're involved in this community and your anticipation and fear are on elevated levels, then this can substantially raise your prolactin levels, which can substantially raise your possibility of experiencing a phantom pregnancy, because if your prolactin levels are elevated, then you can definitely be experiencing symptoms of pregnancy. If you have any questions about that particular section, please leave them in the comments below. I will be more than happy to answer any and all questions about prolactin levels, about anticipation and fear, affecting your prolactin levels, as well as pseudocyesis being associated with hormone imbalance, as well as hypothyroidism can present as pseudocyesis. So, last and definitely a very, very important note here, because I have a recorded case, a medically recorded case, medically documented, of a woman who, when given a sonography or an ultrasound and was shown the absence of a fetus in her uterus, she explained it by the probability that the fetus had migrated from her uterus to her back, where he or she, the baby, was hidden from view by the mother's bone and muscle. So this to me sounds exactly verbatim like the infamous cryptic 2 to 7 year cryptic pregnancy. Many of the women who receive negative ultrasounds justify or explain away the fact that they did not find a baby in their uterus by saying that the baby moved, by saying that the baby left the uterus and is in fact tucked behind an organ or the intestines or the colon. So many women have expressed this story to me. So it's very, very important to note that there is a medically recorded case of a woman who was experiencing a phantom pregnancy, that when she was shown that her uterus was empty, the way she explained it sounds exactly the way the 2 to 7 year cryptic pregnancy communities ladies explain it. So, if you suspect or think that you might be having a phantom pregnancy, joining a group or community that reinforces this delusion or tells you you are in fact pregnant is damaging to your emotional, mental, and physical wellness. I know you're looking for answers when you're wondering if you're pregnant, and joining these cryptic pregnancy communities do not seem like they would be very detrimental or negative, but these women so desperately want to confirm, and they want so desperately to know for sure that they are pregnant. Joining these types of groups and communities, although they seem very innocent and supportive, in the long run, it could actually be not a very good idea, and actually make the delusion even more intense. I know in my experience, when I started to join all of the groups, my delusion, my phantom pregnancy got even more intense. And that's because I had all these women constantly telling me, you're right, you are pregnant. You know your body better than anybody knows your body, which you do. And so there was nobody who was going to convince me that I was not pregnant until I saw the negative ultrasound. And even then, I could have came home and I could have said, you know what, they're wrong. I am pregnant. And I could have continued on with the community, and I could have continued on talking to these women and getting them to tell me that I am pregnant. And I could have done that, but I decided to heal from it and to take a natural, healthy approach. So the development of this condition comes in 3 stages. The first stage is called das Trema, which is the general feeling of non-specific apprehension. And a lot of people can very much relate to this. The general feeling of non-specific apprehension, something that you have to do or something that you need to do. The second stage is the sensory perception. You take what you're feeling and you perceive it as being pregnancy. And the third stage is when meaning is attached to an otherwise neutral sensation. So something you normally feel, let's say gurgling in your digestive system, you've now interpreted that as possible fetal movement. So I will go more into these 3 stages in another video, so stay tuned for that. I do plan on getting that filmed, filmed, edited, and uploaded for you here guys soon. And this is already 15 minutes long. Oh my gosh. I haven't even added my intro or okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Also, my email is in the description box of this video if you want to email me privately. Also, you can inbox me or private message me through Facebook or Instagram. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Be well, be healthy, stay blessed, friends. Until next time, bye.
Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great day. Mwah.